Hello, I'm Dr. Scott Peck, and welcome to Love Skill 24, Reflect Back and Validate. This is a very advanced love skill. When we have shared with someone else, someone we love or a friend, and we've shared at an intimate level, how do we know that they have actually heard us? I can be looking at you right now with my eyes and with a smile, and I can be listening to you, but I might be thinking about what I'm going to have for breakfast, or when is this conversation going to be over. I can be thinking about a book I've just read, and yet I'm looking at you with a smile and I'm listening. How do you really know that I've heard what you've said? You know when I reflect back and validate. So reflecting back means I tell you what I've heard in my own words. I'm not trying to repeat what you're saying, but I tell you in my own words what I think you've said or I feel you've said. And it's a very humbling thing. I'm not trying to prove that I'm right. I'm trying to show you that I've been listening. And I actually want, if I've missed something, I want to know that. This is very powerful if you have an intimate relationship and you're working out a conflict with somebody or you're trying to resolve an issue. This is powerful. Here's an example. I might say, well, what I hear you saying is that you're upset because the other day I was spending more time with my iPhone than I was with you, and this makes you this annoys you even though you know my iPhone is important to you. Is that correct? Now, that's a good example of reflecting back. I've tried to put it in my own words, and I even added the little clause at the end, is that correct? Meaning I'm very humbly trying to reflect back and wanting to know if there's more. The reason we call this validating is because I'm validating what you have said. By repeating it back, by reflecting it back, I'm actually validating who you are. Validating your importance, because you're important enough for me to actually have heard you, not just to be listening to you. And once you know that you're going to reflect back to someone, it heightens your learning skills a lot more, your listening skills, because obviously you have to listen keenly if you're going to reflect back. And reflecting back can be a very soulful way of creating intimacy. You can reflect back on many levels. Let me tell you what I wouldn't even say that. I'd say, here's what I hear you saying. See, that's a nice way to phrase it. Here's what I hear you saying. But another way of reflecting back is what I feel you feeling is happiness overall, but frustration in this one area. So I can also reflect back not anything you've said, but what I'm sensing that you're feeling. And again, I might say, here's what I'm hearing you feeling, but correct me as if I'm wrong. And then just share what you think someone's feeling. It seems to me you're just ecstatic, sharing the joy of this vacation. It's not so much what you did, is that you had so much fun and your heart is tingling with joy just telling me about it. Is that correct? You see the power of reflecting at a very deep level? And you can also even reflect deeper than that. What's the person's soul saying, even though there's lots of words? I might reflect, okay, if you were reflecting back to me right now, you might say, well, Scott, I hear you talking about the importance of how important it is to say back in your own words what somebody else has said and ask them if that's correct. That would be true. But you could also reflect back and say, well, Scott, when you're talking about reflecting back, I can see your passion for love, and it seems to make your heart come alive. Is that accurate? And that would be good reflecting back. But you could also reflect back at this deeper soul level. Scott, when I hear you talking about this love skill, all these love skills, including reflecting back, it's almost as if you're speaking to me from your highest self, the place that you most love to live as a spiritual being. Is that accurate? And I would say yes, and that would be the deepest reflecting back, because that's really who I am. All three ways of reflecting back are accurate, but reflecting back at the soul level is the most powerful. Practice this, reflecting back and validating another person's value and worth and words. This is a great love skill, an advanced love skill. Practice it a lot, and you can do it all the time. You don't have to announce to somebody, hey, I'm going to reflect back. Just do it. And I love you for trying.